Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new around here, firstly thank you for checking out the channel. If I can just ask a real cheeky favour, and that is if you can just like the video right now. If you don't like the video, simply take it back. Obviously it costs you nothing, but it does mean the world to me and the channel. So if I can just be cheeky and ask that you give us that like right here before you forget, that'd be absolutely great. And again, just to talk you through what the channel's all about, obviously Game Junkie, clues in the name, but essentially we will be looking to focus on the very latest releases of generally games that are based around management base, strategy base, as well as sim base. So if that's your sort of thing, again, I welcome you. Please subscribe, follow whichever platform you're on, and also join in the fun as we go forward. So over the last few days we've been playing quite a lot of Captain of Industry. Today, however, I thought I'd take you through Supermarket Simulator. Whilst again the clue can be in the name with what the game's about, we'll just have a quick run through. If you have heard about it, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And again, if you haven't heard about it, hopefully you'll stick around through the end of the video, and then just again pop in the comments what's good about the game, what perhaps you might like to see changed about the game, or anything else. So a bit of a background around this game. It is still very much an early access game. The game was released 20th of February this year, so that's 2024, and at the time of recording the game will currently cost £10.99, and that's obviously great British pounds. And currently it's got over 22,000 positive reviews on Steam, so if you haven't played it, I'd certainly recommend it. Grab a copy, and like me, you'll spend many hours invested in the game. I was a bit cautious initially, however once you get into the game it is fairly addictive, and again if you're like me with these sort of games, I like that goal of getting something and ultimately working towards that goal to unlock further things, different options and things like that. So really works well for me. Because this is an early access game, there's a bit of a pathway, should we say, in terms of what we're looking to have released. So in terms of the timeline of events, we've got various things such as implementing cleaning of the store, customization, and that looks to be with wallpaper, floor coverings, internal sort of decorations and that front. At the minute we have sort of manned checkout counters. There is some sort of discussion around implementation of self-checkouts, so that'll be interesting to see, as well as various apps with tracking around prices, that sort of thing, as well as inventory sets. We're also looking at, I say we, obviously it's not my game, but the game's also looking at implementing things such as shoplifters, and the requirements then to employ security guards, CCTV, anti-theft doors, that sort of thing. So that'd be really good to see. Food also expiring, so you have to do a bit of a stock take, an assessment of the fresh produce on the shelves, as well as putting sort of items on sale. So if you have a bulk number of items that you want to get rid of, again perhaps you can put things on sale. That'd be really good, as well as online orders and deliveries in and around the city. How that's going to sort of work, I'm not quite sure, but again I'm sure that will become clear as we move forward. And again the city, as you'll see shortly, it's a fairly small city to say the least, so the sort of city and the surrounding area hopefully should be a bigger environment for us to explore. And then we're also looking at various things such as veggie, fruit, weighing them to sell, etc., as well as wholesale offers, things like that that are a bit more relevant to real life, shall we say. So currently I've got well over 60 hours on the game in terms of my personal save, so as opposed to having to start completely afresh, obviously I've only been streaming for about 10 days or so it would have been nice to have started this stream from the beginning. However, because I've got 60 hours in, I really don't want to do that all over again. And again, with this sort of game, it's not as though you necessarily need to see things from the beginning. So I do think we're able to follow it from where I'm at. So let's jump in. So, as we say, let's jump into the game and I'll talk you through what we've got. So this game, prior to release late February, had a bit of a playable demo that I did download. It wasn't a fair representation of what this game has actually turned into, and this car's taking me out for a ride. So the playable demo, sort of down this end, was just capped with a building. So essentially we had the street which had no vehicular traffic. So there's a building line across there as well as the other end. So it did concern me slightly when I first played it, because I thought, not much realism there. And again, I'm not into sort of the games where it's not necessarily immersive. So here is the store. And as I've just referenced around the shop, obviously it's quite original. It's called Supermarket. I know that isn't my choice. That is simply because we don't have the option to change it or upgrade it in any way yet. I'm sure that will change over time. But what you end up starting with is a small sort of square area in here. And yes, you guessed it. The aim of the game is to work your way up, level the store. As you can see on top right, store level currently, well, just under 53. We're about to tip over to 54. And then you obviously start with very, very limited amount of money. The working day always starts at 8 AM. And you may wonder what the 4 people here who look exactly the same are doing. So, what are they doing? Good question. They are what's known as stockists. And their job essentially is to take all the produce from here and bring it into the shop and pop on the various shelves. Again, without wanting to explain the obvious, you also then have to unlock and employ each cashier, who again also look the same. Not necessarily great, as you can see the whites coming through the backs. But again, not to mention, this is an early access game, so things like that I'm hopeful will be sorted over time. So if I take you back through the storeroom, again, you don't start with this. This is something that you do have to unlock, and again, you only start with sort of here square, so it's a fairly small area, and you unlock that square by square. So this is the computer area, and it's broken down at the minute with the 3 shortcuts. We've got the market. This will give you all the various items. As you can see, quite an exhaustive list there, as well as our furniture tab. So we've also got our management, and within the management page you have got things such as licenses. So you basically purchase a license, and that will give you generally around 6 items unlocked to essentially fill the store's shelves with. Bills, you also have bills that are populated at the end, I think, of each working day. Obviously I've not paid any of these in the last few days, likewise with the rent. So the bills are slightly interesting. You are basically billed sort of a flat rate at the end of the day, and then as well as any additional electronic items, which again would be, you know, realistic, I suppose, as well as then the fridge freezers and fridges and whatever else. So the more items you have, the more your bills are. And then, in one of the more recent updates, was the release with the stockist and the shelves, because previously you would just dump your cardboard boxes in here. Erin, go upstairs! Wait a minute! Okay. So how this works then is our customers will come into the shop, and again, you can, before I forget, you can design this sort of shop, supermarket, whatever you want to call it, to your heart's content. This is just how I've tried to maximize as much space as possible. The customers will go and collect their various products. We obviously can set the price here, and that's broken down by the average cost of the item, i.e. for us to purchase, as well as the price we're selling it for, in this case $4.85, and then it will break it down by the amount of profit. And again, the profit there is £1.90 or $1.90, and the 10 next to the price is the quantity on that shelf. So each of the shelves obviously holds different quantities depending on the size of the item. So 8 there, 6 there, 8, 12, so on and so forth. Initially, when you start, and even more so when I was on the previous version of the game, it was quite tiresome. You had to remember quite a lot of detail around what was stocked where. And what I'm going to do very quickly is just try and fix my webcam. I've got no idea why it's flickering. Let's try something like that. Shall we try that now? There we go, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? Okay, so as we were saying then, so each of the fridges or something like that can contain various different items. So we've got various sodas, alcohol, hummus at the bottom there, soda, different types of water, eggs of different variety, orange juices, salmon, tuna. I have no idea what that is. Moussaka, but I don't know what the image is. I think that's some sort of salmon fishy dish thing. Apple juice, large sushi, small sushi, cheese, different type of cheese, yogurt, and more cheeses. We've then got milk, butter, steak, ground beef / veal. Veal at the bottom there, ground beef there, chicken legs, lasagna, pass, no idea. Likewise, I think that's some cheese and ham thing. I think that's some sort of like almost bacon looking thing. And again, more of the same. And then various soda again. We've got flours, crisps and breads, again different sizes. Toilet roll, more toilet roll there, coffee over there, bleach, cleaner, dishwashers, sort of powder, tablets, whatever. More cleaner, sugar there, macaroni sort of elbow, spaghetti type things, 2 different varieties of teas, 1 type of coffee, another type of coffee, rice, spaghetti, pasta, different type of rice, again some sort of additional bleach there, additional dishwashing fluid cleaning there, box sugar there, box sugar, sachet sugar, another sugar, cooking oil, different type of cooking oil, more sort of powdered milk, shampoo and hand soap. This side we've got dishwasher sort of washing up liquid, ketchup, hot sauce, mayonnaise, potatoes in there, lager kegs, vodka, I think that's supposed to be like tinned alcohol. This side we've got cereal, like a mashed potato puree, I think. Some sort of brioche cake type thing. Cake mixture, it's titled candy but sweets in the UK. Chocolate, as in box chocolate there. We've got salt, pepper, peanut butter, I think that's called, and honey. And then jumping in the freezers, we'll just jump on. We've got obviously sort of ice creams there, crab sticks, pizzas, fries, chicken, whole chicken that is, additional type of pizza variety, and that is pretty much where we're at. So in order to open up the day, it's simply a click of the sign there. The time top right starts to tick away, and then it's simply a case of just waiting our first customer, which hopefully may be this chap here. Let's go and see. Indeed it is. So the aim of the game, not necessarily this stream, will be to unlock this row of extensions so we can have more floor space. More floor space is more shelving, more products, more money, and that is what we like to see. So they will get their contents, bring it to an available till. What I don't get about the queuing system is how it actually works, because you could, for example, find 3 or 4 people queuing on this checkout. That one's free, that one's free. You know, why would people do that? They wouldn't do that in real life, would they? So the ding. Let's explain what the ding is. So this counter currently doesn't have any employees, so therefore I would have to man that checkout. So it's a case of we just scan all the products that we've got. We take the cash, and then we have to do some maths. So the change amount needed 10, 5, 1, 2, 3, 55. So it's gone green. That will tell us that the minimum amount has been met. If, for example, we offered another 50 in and returned 68.55, clearly we would lose money. That also removes our store level points, so we need to be cautious around how much change we give, in that we only give the sort of the correct amount. So how do we get that money back? Well, simply just right click, and there we go. Spacebar, that will end the transaction. And then again, we'll take some more money. So 25, 35, bang. And our customers are coming through thick and fast. Now, he's presenting his credit or debit card. We can just activate that on the machine. And we know there from the total that it's 450. And we enter that in, and that customer has been served. So normally the transaction amounts do mount up. These I generally find is earlier in the day that the customers don't necessarily have big orders, whereas then they do increase throughout the day. You need 95 cents, thank you, sir. And then as we progress towards the end of the day, there's the light switch there. Again, we can switch that on. But I don't like to do that too soon, because again the electricity bills do go up. And just before I forget, so yeah, as you can see over here, look quickly before I leave. So we've obviously got 3 people, 4 now, queuing for that checkout. No one's on mine, and the queue line there seems to be much shorter elsewhere, but they don't actually come and think about that. But there you go, that's AR technology, I suppose, for you. So jumping over here, let's just get all these bills paid. I don't actually know what happens if you don't pay them, and I'd like it to remain that way. So just jump on, here we go, a bit more of a bigger items. It does amaze me the amount of things that people buy in one go. Like 2 bottles of bleach, why do you need that much? What are you doing, going home, committing murders? So on card, 158, 70, what? 75. There we go. Thank you. Come again. Brilliant. And on the card, that's 305. Brilliant. And on card, let's take that. Thank you, sir. Here we go, now you're talking. This is my kind of diet. Pizza and soda. Wowzers. He's paid us exactly. Ideal, thank you. So again, if you don't get your pricing strategy right, people do complain about the costs. And again, if you don't price them correctly, you will lose out money. So it's all about finding that balance. I generally stick to the guide on the pricing guide. This is 81.40. Thank you. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Right, and then we'll just get all this scanned, and then we'll switch on the lights because it's starting to get a little dim. Perfect, on the nose, as if you would walk into the store paying exact amounts of money. I just don't think that's necessarily feasible, is it? Hello, next customer, please. So whilst we're here, what we can do again in a new update is we can close this checkout, which I was about to demonstrate, but we've got these people coming on and wanting our service. 31.50. Thank you, sir. It always does make me laugh with these people in the suits. It's almost they walk in at the end of their working day, hitting the bottle of the vodka or the alcohol, whatever it may be, so that they can unwind. $106.20. So I'll show you how we do that. We just hit the E key. That will then pop on the checkout closed, so the queues won't form any longer. And then we come in our storeroom, and yeah, I mean now it's fairly tidy and presentable. Had this been the case about 3-4 weeks ago, probably not, and there would have been boxes everywhere, not necessarily in the storage room, but certainly on the shop floor. That would have just been, well, horrendous, because I didn't see much point of taking them all the way back to the storeroom just to put them back on the floor. And we can take these back. So again, it's almost like one of those games where it's almost like a muscle memory type game. Where did I put X, Y, Z? As I say, this is where the game can slightly get repetitive, because this then, as well, we'll demonstrate in a minute once the shop shuts, but it's now 9 PM. So if we was to go over here, open up the market page, we can't actually, well, we can add as much as we like. If we go to checkout, it won't let us purchase because the shop shuts, or the wholesaler, I suppose, if you want to think of it that way, shuts at 9 PM. So we can't actually do too much there. But we'll show you how all the reordering works. I like to do that in the morning. But simply to pick up a box, you would just click it with the left mouse click and go where you need to go. So holding the mouse click, it gives us nice smooth animations, and it gets everything to where we need it to be. These specific shelves, obviously I've got 2 boxes already, so for the time being we'll just stick that on the floor out of the way. There are some bugs with this game, for example why that box has been put on the floor as opposed to on the shelf, but there we go. And again, yeah, no, we can, it's got space there at the back, so we stick that there. Any more on the floor? Yeah, and again just there. It tends to only do that sort of at the start of the game. I'm not sure why, but again I'm sure that'll be smoothed out as the game develops. But yeah, as you see, the use of self-checkouts would help. Presumably they're going to be sort of smaller, compact checkout areas, so we don't need as much floor space. I don't know how that'll work, whether that'll need like an AI support, managerial sort of overseeing supervisory role, I don't know. But I suppose that will become clear as we go forward in the further sort of gaming development areas. So you have got to be cautious with the game in that as soon as you hit this button, obviously the time starts ticking. So in reality is you probably don't get your first customer until about 8:45 a.m. So the game does sort of compensate for that in that it still generates customers post 9 p.m. So I don't like to close the store too early because people will be prevented from coming in the store. So there's no one else in there now, so we'll just hit that. That will obviously close the store. Just making sure we've got no one else knocking about. Oh, are you one? No, you're a stockist. Okay. Again, the one thing you don't see, which I would perhaps like to see, is the cashiers actually coming to and from work. They're basically there all the time until you fire them. So that's just worth perhaps bearing in mind. Okay, so what we now need to do is we'll hit the enter key and we'll start the next day. Gives you a bit of a breakdown of daily statistics. As you can see, I'm currently day 138, so 138, and today we've had 81 satisfied customers. 0 customers that haven't been able to find what they were looking for, 0 customers that have found products too expensive, and also 0 customers that were shortchanged. Overall gives us a positive store rating, which is most welcome. Store level, we've had 405 points. Income, now one thing to bear in mind with the income, again, there is a bug here. If you do the maths, it doesn't actually give you a true reflection as to how much we've earned or made in the day. So just take that with a bit of a pinch of salt. So again, the 2 items on the right hand side, scallop and ale. The scallop, I think, are these ones. Yep, so the market price now has dropped to $3.41. So again, I will just drop that and round that down to say 3.40, and that will automatically then change that price. And then I think it was the ale lager, which is it, that one? No, the keg. No, it might be the bottles over here then. Yeah, there we go. Let's go 235. So that's our pricing strategy will change for the day. And obviously time won't advance until we open up that store. So as you can see, we've had a bit of a beating in terms of stock. The stockists aren't necessarily the quickest in getting everything back onto the shop floor. Again, I would say that's another disadvantage, but I'm sure things like that can be improved. We are also at the maximum amount of stockists, so it's not as though we can hire any more or do anything to aid that. That's just simply the case and the way that it is. So they will be working through everything in the stock room to get on the shop floor. Now, what I try and do, and it can be quite time consuming, is I try and get each shelf full. Not necessarily of entire capacity, but for example here we're out of the cookie cereal, so I'll order 2 boxes to fit in that slot, and likewise with the dishwasher there, the same again. And that's just so I'm happy that we've got the contingency stock in this storeroom, so throughout the opening hours of the day the stockist can ensure that the shop floor stock is maintained, if that makes sense. So, is there any method? No, not really. I suppose you could start from here, working your way down through the number of items. What I try and do is work this way around, in that I know I've got dishwasher, crisp, well, cookie, sort of crisp cereal things, and I just work along the shelves all the way around until I'm happy that we've got what we've got. Again, this can take quite a bit of time to do, and to some degree it does at times almost feel in its own right that this is a mini game of memory, which my memory isn't great. So what I do know is then our cereal, we need 2 of those, 1 of those, 1 bleach and 2 dishwasher. So it's just as easy to filter everything like so. What else could we do with? No idea what that's on there. That should be on there. So to get rid of a placard, all you do is simply click it and that will remove it. So those, well, that shelf now has capacity for 2 boxes. How many bleaches did I order? Did I order 2? Well, I have now. So just working his way through, and again we'll go 2 coffee there. Two coffee and 1 of those, which is the box next to it. Now you can only order 10 items at a time, and they get delivered out here just like so. And it's simply a case of sticking everything right where you want it, and that's why you have to remember what items are stored where, because otherwise that can be quite time consuming. And then once you've got the items on the shelf, obviously the stockists will then make their way around and begin to fill up the shelves on the shop floor. Perfect. That goes on there. And again, once you're finished with the empty cardboard, you'd have to put them in the bin, but the stockists do that automatically there. So we need some spaghetti, salt and pepper. Let's go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that should be that unit there completely full. Cleaner, cleaner, cleaner. So 3 cleaners. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 potatoes. Although we'll have to order that on the next round. Bang. Bang. Bang, bang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 toilet papers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bang. And again, just because I don't like it getting too cluttered out here, I do try and tidy up sort of every other order. One thing to bear in note, it's important that you don't override the shelf. So if I was to put it on that shelf there, that will simply, as you can see, put the potatoes on there. So if you remove it, it will remove the cleaning product or the previous product. So to avoid that, we'll just stick that back on there. So again, for me, I like these sort of games. They're fairly chilled. You can listen to some music or chat with friends or whatever you need to do. These games are clearly sort of unwind games. Yes, they're not going to get your heartbeat rating, such as other titles, you know, shooting, card, that sort of thing. But again, it's just nice to chill out, unwind after a hard day at work or school or whatever. go and stick that over there. I mean, what I do find annoying is when you're trying to stock it all up and then the stockists come and unload what you've just stacked. But there we are. So yeah, the boxes are different shapes and sizes, and because of that you can obviously get more items on these shelves here. So we've got completely no kegs there. Let's order some kegs. 2 of those. Coffee 1 and 2. 1, 2. And they're large eggs, I think, so let's just go over to the eggs. 1, 2. 2 milk and normal milk. So 2 powdered milk, 1 normal, and that gives us another 10. And again, once all the stockists are finished unloading these shelves onto the main shop floor, they'll just congregate out here, essentially waiting for the next task, next order, that sort of thing. And what you might find is, as and when we start stocking up like magic here, he's obviously going to go take that box we just planted and restack the shelf. And he's going to do the same there. Now I suppose you could in theory have the shop open, but if you do that, the stockist will be, well, taking things faster than you can actually get them on the shelf. So I do try and avoid that if I can. So I think we shall have another, well, let's just check because I don't want to be left. Yeah, we'll go with another 2 milk, 2 vodka, apple and orange. So 1, 2 juice, and can't type. So 1 of those, 2 of those. Did we order the vodka? Don't think we did we? Vodka, not vodka, vodka. 2 of those. Yes, yes. I'm going to go 2 waters, soda and soda. Water, water. Go 1 soda, bang, boom. So as you can see, it does get a little repetitive at times, but generally if you're just wanting a game that you can switch off, unwind, kick back, relax, this is perfect. And the level of the game that I'm currently at, I would describe it as being a bit more intermediate in terms of difficulty. you do, or you can go through the game fairly quickly at the early stages. Which one are you? That one. At the minute, the costings of, say, things like the license on the computer, and let me just show you what I mean. So the licenses, obviously $12,500. They're not that expensive when you first start. They're sort of $700, $1,000, that sort of thing. So it's not as though you've got to wait absolute sort of a huge amount of time, and you will get there fairly early on. But as you're sort of towards this level of the game, obviously it requires, well, it tests your patience, I would say. There we go. Both vodkas sorted. So I do think as and when we get more updates, that will be a lot more entertaining, you know, such as thieves and that sort of thing. It'll be interesting to see how that's all going to work, and whether there's a requirement for us to, say, chase individuals or that sort of thing. The Turco Solar I don't need. Chicken, we need 2. Bang bang. And then four bleach and 4. In fact, what I might do, I'm going to put the chickens there, and then we'll put the 4 bleach on top of there, and we'll make that whole tower a paper. So remove paper. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Something like that. Don't know why I picked that up. We don't need that, do we? So the paper. 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 Cola, there. More paper. So again, if you're watching the stream, whether live or on playback, again, please feel free to drop a comment in. Tell me what you think. Tell me whether it's a game for you, whether you've considered buying it, whether this video has been of any use. Really help me out. Right, so we need the 3 varieties of flour, and I think that's rice. So rice, we go 1 2, flour, 1 2 1 2 1 2, and I think that's lasagna. So let's try and have a go at that. There we go. Brill. I don't think I'd want to be buying any products that's just been thrown on the floor, certainly that's been run over by the passing traffic. Again, prime example. Put it down as a sale item. And there we go, we'll stick that up all there, and then I think these are cheese and ham. Cheese. So 2 of those. And duplicate that one. So 2 pizzas and hummus. 1, 2 hummus. 5. So chips, we need 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll go with the pinky purple soda. Like so. The good thing is, once you try and put an item, and I'll show you what I mean with this one, you can't put this item anywhere else other than matching that one. So as long as you've got one box on a rack, you can't really go far wrong. Again, this is just the way that I like to restock. You can obviously do it whilst the store's open, gives you a bit of passing time. But I just like to watch the customers and get on the checkout and help. But then again, in fairness, there is some sort of requirement to do that. And I'll show you what I mean, because when we move to the high screen, there is sort of a bit of a prerequisite to buy or upgrade. So you can see here, in order for me to purchase the last remaining checkout, I'm expected to complete 1,750 checkouts. So 200 for the first one, 400, 900. So that is quite a big jump. It's almost twice the amount. So that's why we haven't got that. Interestingly, you'll see that I've not met the requirement here, but we have got the restocker. Again, that's because I do have 20. I've just packed the last 2 away, which are those 2 boxes down there, simply because they were just in the way. So what do we go with? We can go with ice cream cleaner pasta. Again, my short-term memory isn't the greatest, so that's probably as much as I will be stretched to. That we need another one of. So cleaner, and it's the red one. See, I already forgot what the other item was. Ice cream. So we can go 1, 2, and I know that we need 2 bread. And we'll get the other one in a minute. Again, it's not quite as time consuming at the beginning of the game because you don't have as much stock to monitor and keep on top of. So as you do progress through the game and unlock various more sort of stock, it does become quite challenging / problematic. But that is why we play these games, right? Ice cream. So I do think once the updates as suggested in the roadmap are underway, I do think that will be a bit of use There we go. So we've got the bread. They're pasta elbows and small sushi, I think. So go pasta elbows, 2 of those. Sushi, 2 small, 1 large. Cheese, we've got no blue cheese. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, I'm not going to do any more ordering. We'll let the game run through. That one. And that one on there. That one on there. At the top. You may notice that the game's a bit jumpy. It's not necessarily the FPS or anything. It is simply me getting caught on various items, generally the door frame. It's just because I'm running as opposed to walking like so. Look, there we go. I'm an impatient kind of man. We'll get this last box on. We'll unpause the day or commence the day, whichever you want to call it, and then we'll watch it go through. So again, please feel free, let me know what's happened in your day. I didn't buy any of that cleaner, did I? One, two, three, four. Let's jump on the checkout. Next customer, please. Okay. Yeah. You don't? I'll be up soon. Is anyone coming? There we go. Thank you, sir. Right. Da 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 da. 75.15, please, sir. Thank you. A pleasure. Saltsea. Dishwasher, bleach, bread, beer, salmon, beer. And that is 181.90, please, sir. Thank you. Come again. 35 on the nose. Any more for any more? Ah, thank you. Here we go, right. One thing I do notice is the scale seems to be slightly different once they're on the checkout belt. No change for you. Yeah, the scales compared to when they're on the shelves, somewhat off. But again, I imagine that is going to be reviewed or changed, tweaked. You need 71.75. Thank you, sir. What? You've come all this way just for one oil? That's definitely, I'm on the way home, what we're having for dinner chit chat. Switch on the lights. Here we go. Hello, anyone want to move down? Come on to this belt. Woohoo! Hello? Ma'am, do you want to come over here? Sir? Anyone? Hello? Hello? No? Okay. I suppose it'd be cool to have your CCTV, have your work sort of station set up somewhere. You can monitor, zoom in. That would be good. So I'll try and show you what I mean about the 9 o'clock thing. So 8:05 now, essentially. People are still coming in nicely. Again, all the cars sound the same as well, so hopefully that will be tweaked. Slight variation would be good. Right, so cash sale. So no change, thank you. So it's 9 o'clock, for example. Here's the chat. In he comes, and the same for the female. Whereas if we'd have closed that at 9 o'clock, we'd have obviously lost then the 2 customers. So there's potentially even another coming over there. So I'll just again suggest perhaps leaving that sign open sometime after the 9 o'clock, because again, well, there's 2. So we could have potentially lost 4 customers, and when they're spending the best part of $100 a piece, that's what, $400. So it's worth staying open. Here we go. So 50.25. Thank you, sir. Any more for any more? Here we go. Coffee, egg, coffee, cake, veal, spaghetti. And you want $6.70. God, on that one, $64.75. And you want 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, $24, $24.40. Any more? No, we'll close that there. Any more? No. So that is the end of the customers for today. So as I say, what I think I'll do is I'll leave today's stream there. This was only ever going to be a short one. So in a nutshell, that is Supermarket Simulator. So again, if you could be so kind, if you haven't liked the video, please like the video, subscribe and follow. But more importantly, build up some sort of comments down below. Tell me what you think. I'm interested to know. Would you buy the game? Have you got the game? If you do you like it? It'd be interesting to see. But other than that, thank you for checking the video out. Hopefully you've seen it through to the end, and hopefully you'll tune in on the next one. Thank you.